It is the 26th of April 2024. Hello and a very warm welcome to the Kdf Friday Bulletin. I am Sergeant Doreen Kerubo. The bulletin is a show to keep you updated on events undertaken by the Ministry of Defense over the week. In our highlights tonight, Commander of the Somalia National Armed Forces conveys his condolences to Kenya Defense Forces. Kenya Air Force holds requiem mass for fallen soldiers at Moi Air Base. Kenya Defense Forces and multi-agency teams conduct community engagement to counter violent extremism in Lamu County. And in sports, Kahawa Garrison emerges winners of this year's Chief of the Defense Forces Women Cup. Following the passing on of the Chief of the Defense Forces, General Francis Omondi Ogolla, on the 18th of April 2024, after a tragic air accident that also claimed the lives of 9 other Kenya Defense Forces officers, Commander of the Somalia National Armed Forces, Major General Ibrahim Sheikh Muhuddin, and Somalia's ambassador to Kenya, Jabril Ibrahim Abdullah, paid a solemn visit to the office of the Defense Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Aden Duale, and the Vice Chief of the Defense Forces, Lieutenant General Charles Kahariri, at the Defense Headquarters here in Nairobi. The delegation conveyed condolences on behalf of Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh and the entire Somali nation. Their presence underscored the robust bonds of friendship and cooperation between Somalia and Kenya, particularly in matters defense and security. The Ministry of Defense appreciates the overwhelming condolences from nations around the world. Following the passing and burial of Chief of the Defense Forces General Francis Ogolla, Brigadier Swale Said and Captain Mohamed Sora, Kenya Air Force held a requiem mass for 6 of the deceased Kenya Defense Forces personnel who lost their lives in the tragic helicopter crash in Sindar, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Major General John Omenda, Commander Kenya Air Force, led the ceremony and condoled with the family members of the late Colonel Kipyegon Keitany, Major George Magondu, Captain Hilary Litali, Senior Sergeant John Murithi, Sergeant Clifford Omondi, and Sergeant Rose Nyawera.
While eulogizing the fallen heroes, Major General Omenda said that the air crash was one of the worst tragedies that Kenya Air Force and Kenya Defense Forces had faced, and termed the soldiers as heroes who lived lives of service and were dedicated to serving their country but lost their lives in the line of duty.
We will continue to support the families during these difficult times and beyond. Where your departed spouse, child, or parent, a friend in us, you will continue to have a friend with the Kenya Force.
Sergeant Rose Nyawera Washira of Strategic Communication was laid to rest yesterday in her father's home in Kagiyo Village, Kirinyaga County, where she was accorded military honors in a ceremony led by the Deputy Kenya Air Force Commander, Brigadier Peter Githinji. Brigadier Githinji eulogized the late Sergeant Nyawera as a talented, hardworking and a loyal service personnel who covered Kenya Defense Forces functions professionally and undertook every task assigned effectively.
I know this is a big loss, not just to the family, but to the KDF, to Kenya Air Force, to the county. As you heard Madam Governor said here, she has lost 2 of her representatives in KDF.
Chief of Strategic Communication Brigadier Zipora Kioko termed Sergeant Nyawera as an invaluable colleague whose professionalism, warm demeanor and affable nature endeared her at all who crossed her path. The late Senior Sergeant John Murithi was laid to rest today at Karemeno Village, Nyeri County, while the schedule of other burials are shown on the screen. May God rest all their souls in eternal peace.
The Chief of Strategic Plans and Policy at the Defense Headquarters, Brigadier Richard Mwanzia, hosted a delegation from the Federal Republic of Somalia, headed by Somalia's Strategic Policy Advisor, Ms. Jihan Abdullahi Hassan, at the Defense Headquarters here in Nairobi. The meeting was geared towards fostering defense cooperation between the two neighboring countries, among other discussions. Both parties highlighted their commitment to ensuring that the two countries continue working cohesively, not only in strengthening bilateral ties, but also in streamlining their state of operation. The meeting was also graced by a host of other senior officers from the two countries. Multi-agency troops under Operation Amani Boni, drawn from the National Police Service, National Government Administration officers and led by the Kenya Defence Forces, held a community engagement with the Lamu Youth Assembly at CU in Lamu County. The engagement, organized by Lamu Youth Assembly, was geared towards developing a youth policy, with the security agencies providing insight on the security of the area, de-radicalization and countering violent extremism in the region.
The Lamu Youth Assembly is a community-based organization with a representation in the entire Lamu County that helps lobby priority projects. It is also a forum that enables different organizations to support youth economically to evade radicalization and violent extremism. During the session, the security representative pledged to enhance their presence and improve security in the towns of Faza and Pate. On the other hand, the youth articulate their readiness to support initiatives aimed at boosting local security by sharing information with security agencies.
Now on to matters environmental conservation. Kenya Defence Forces personnel from the Kenya Navy and 19 Kenya Rifles, in conjunction with the Greens of Africa, Equity Bank and Watamu community-based organization, planted approximately 100,000 mangrove seedlings along Mida Creek in Watamu. This is in line with the Commander-in-Chief's tree restoration program aimed at mitigating the devastating effects of climate change by planting 15 billion trees by 2032.
While addressing the participants, Lieutenant Colonel John Mtabari, Commanding Officer Kenya Navy Base Mtongwe, stated that the Kenya Navy has been in the forefront of environmental conservation through tree planting efforts. He emphasized on the importance of working together to protect the environment. While representing all the stakeholders present, Ms. Jedida Wanyeki, CEO Greens of Africa, applauded all the participants of the tree planting exercise and encouraged them to continue working together to protect the environment. She further emphasized on the necessity of public-private cooperation in addressing environmental challenges. A similar exercise was conducted by KDF officers upon completion of their company commander's course at the School of Infantry Isiolo, where they planted over 500 tree seedlings of various indigenous and exotic within the military establishment under the leadership of the school commandant, Brigadier Pascal Kitiro.
Kenya Defence Forces troops stationed at Chesitet military camp in Baringo County under Operation Maliza Uhalifu conducted a one-day free medical camp in Teplen, Silale location in conjunction with Medical Missions Africa. The Medicamp, which is a way of giving back to the society, creating good relationship and supporting the needy in the community, served several residents with a wide range of services, from screening of non-communicable diseases, issuance of preventative and curative drugs, and general medical checkup of varied ailments.
Officer Commanding Chesitet Military Camp Major Stephen Kisilu highlighted the importance of cohesion among the communities in order to foster peace. Elsewhere, Kenya Defence Forces troops on patrol at El Banda Center in Burahache, Somalia, attended to a sick lady who presented with severe dehydration, diarrhea and vomiting. The troops extended the medical aid to other locals who presented with ailments such as tonsils, malaria and allergies. The KDF medical team also educated the residents in both areas on proper nutrition, sanitation and general hygiene. The residents expressed their gratitude to the KDF for their continued efforts in maintaining peace and security.
Earlier this week, the Chief Instructor at the Kenya Military Academy, Brigadier Peter Kimondio, presided over the closing ceremony of this year's edition of the Chief of the Defence Forces Women's Cup on behalf of the Vice Chief of the Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Charles Kahariri, at 81 Tank Battalion in Nakuru County. During the tournament, Kahawa Garrison team subdued one Kenya Rifles Nanyuki team to secure a 6-0 win at the end of the 90 minutes whistle to emerge the winners.
In his speech read by Brigadier Kimondiu, the VCDF, who is also the patron of the Defence Forces Football Association, thanked all the teams for exhibiting the spirit of competition and enthusiasm, saying sports are critical in enhancing physical fitness among soldiers and esprit de corps. He congratulated those who were selected to join the KDF national team, the Ulinzi Starlets, and urged them to work extra harder to fly higher the flag of the KDF in the National League. Laikipia Air Base team took third place.
Thank you for watching. We look forward to your feedback via our official social media handles and your viewership next Friday for the Kdf Friday Bulletin. I am Sergeant Doreen Kerubo. Goodbye and God bless.